Welcome back. The Democratic Republic of Congo is in talks with Russian state-owned bank VTB over potential investments worth as much as $1 billion, though VTB said there had been no discussions about bilateral lending. Africa's top copper producer has been hit hard by low commodity prices in recent years. It has only enough foreign currency reserves to cover about 3 weeks of imports, and its franc currency has lost half its value in the past year. The government is discussing possible assistance with the International Monetary Fund, but Western donors are reluctant to aid the government of President Joseph Kabila, who refused to step down when his constitutional mandate expired last December. And Switzerland's financial watchdog FINMA remains in touch with Credit Suisse over its role in arranging loans for Mozambique state-owned companies after an independent report concluded it was unclear how the money had been spent. Credit Suisse, Switzerland's second biggest bank, and Russian lender VTB have come under scrutiny after negotiating loans totaling some $2 billion with 3 firms owned by Mozambique, one of the poorest countries in the world. Discovery of the loans to tuna fishing company Ematom, security firm Prondicos, and Mozambique Asset Management led the International Monetary Fund and Western donors to halt support for Mozambique, triggering the collapse of its currency and leading to a default on debt. And Namibia's foreign currency reserves fell slightly to 25.4 billion Namibian dollars at the end of May 2017, compared with 25.7 billion dollars in April. The central bank attributed the decline mainly to government payments and the appreciation of the Namibian dollar, which is pegged 1-to-1 against the South African rand. And in Kenya, consecutive failed rains across that country have left about 2.7 million people short of food, and some regions are expected to reach emergency levels by September this year. As millions of Kenyans are affected by what is said to be the worst drought since 2011, growing drought-tolerant crops is helping farmers adapt to dry conditions as they continue producing food.
Drought affecting parts of Kenya forced many people to trek long distances in search of water. Joyce Mutangia is a farmer in Bwengi in the northeast. She relies on rain for farming and domestic use, but she no longer has a safe source of water and her farm is not regularly watered. Residents have had to dig deeper and deeper to find some water. Mutangia has also had to stop growing maize after the rains failed. The drought, which has left about 2.7 million people in need of food aid, has also driven up prices of basic food commodities such as milk and vegetables, hitting consumers hard. Mutangia now grows sorghum and green grams that grow better in dry conditions.
In the past, we used to depend on maize in this area instead of sorghum. But now maize is not growing and we're looking to increase our sorghum production. It's doing better for both sale and for domestic consumption.
Joyce is one of 24,000 farmers currently benefiting from a program funded by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, and other partners. Since 2015, the program has focused on responding to insufficient rain in 13 counties in Kenya by introducing soil and water conservation, more efficient farming practices, and promoting drought-tolerant crops. The program aims to reach 185,000 smallholder farmers in the next 7 years.
We start with the farmer right from land preparation and various practices around the same to ensure that the farmer conserves as much moisture as possible at farm level, and employing practices like conservation agriculture so that not much water is lost at the farm. We walk the farmer through a journey where the farmer gets the most appropriate seed, the best fertilizer for the farm, and also ensure the farmer has been given skills so that all the agronomic practices are done in such a way that they get the maximum yields possible.
Farmers in some areas have doubled their yields despite the dry conditions, providing food for their households and communities. By adopting these improved farming practices, farmers could help feed an estimated 10 million Kenyans already suffering from poor nutrition, a figure likely to increase with the ongoing drought.
And the Cairo-based Africa Export-Import Bank has been described as the continent's ray of hope in view of the impacts of economic meltdown on African states. The view was given by the Minister of Finance, Trade and Economic Planning of the Republic of Seychelles, Dr. Peter Larose, at the 24th annual meetings of the bank held last week in Rwanda, where a dividend of $37.9 million was announced to the shareholders.
An African political economic environment remained challenging during 2016, and African economies were also severely affected by the fall in global commodity prices, which started in 2014. I'm delighted to report, distinguished guests, that once again Africa Export Bank has been the silver lining to this dark clouds that have been engulfed the continent. Despite these challenges, the bank has continued to validate the wisdom of its founding fathers, who created the institution to assist the continent in trying times as these. The shining example of this has been the counter-cyclical trade liquidity facility, which was reported last year, was developed for the purpose of available foreign currency liquidity to African central bank to cushion them from the impact of adverse economic conditions. A cumulative amount of $6.45 billion was disbursed by the end of 2016 under this project, which have gone a long way towards stabilizing the economies of beneficiary countries. Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2016 saw the bank successfully completed its fourth strategic plan, which covered 5 years period from 2012 to 2016. The beginning of this year, 2017, therefore saw the bank embarking on its fifth strategic plan, which will cover the period 2017 to 2021.
And finally, Uganda's private sector business activity expanded faster in June than it did in May, buoyed by stronger domestic demand and looser monetary policy. The market's Stanbic Bank Uganda Purchasing Managers Index rose to 52.8 last month from 51 in May. Output, new orders, employment and stocks of purchases had all contributed to the higher index. Last month, the Bank of Uganda cut its key lending rate to 10% from 11%, continuing a round of easing that has been running for about a year. Uganda's economy expanded 3.9% in the fiscal year to the end of June, below an initial forecast of 5.5%. And that's a wrap on the program for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagu.